Spicy Medtech here, back at it again with another video. March is here and that means the board exam is near. So in this video, I will cover some recalls and must-knows, and if you're taking the board exam, I suggest you answer along. Without further ado, let's begin. Number 1. How many pyrrole rings are there in the heme portion of the hemoglobin molecule? A1, B3, C4, or D, heme does not possess pyrrole rings. The answer for number 1 is letter C, 4. Number 2. In urinometry, by how much does the presence of 2 grams per dl of glucose raise the reading? A. 0.005, B. 0.008, C. 0.012, or D. 0.015. The answer for number 2 is letter B, 0.008. Number 3. Which of the following parameters present in a urine dipstick uses the principle of the grease reaction? A. Specific gravity, B. Ketones, C. Nitrites, or D. Blood. The answer for number 3 is letter C, nitrites. Number 4. Which blood clotting factor is also known as the Hageman factor? A. Factor 10, B. Factor 11, C. Factor 12, or D. Factor 13. The answer for number 4 is letter C, factor 12. Number 5. The sample required in performing a creatinine clearance test. A. First morning urine. B. Single random specimen. C. 24-hour urine. Or D. Double voided specimen. So the answer for number 5 is letter C, 24-hour urine. Number 6. An immunodetection technique that uses gel diffusion and electrophoresis. A. Double diffusion, B. Immunofixation, C. Radioimmunoassay, or D. Immunoelectrophoresis. The answer for number 6 is letter D, IEP or immunoelectrophoresis. Number 7. What is the causative agent of infectious mononucleosis? A. Varicella-zoster, B. Herpes-zoster, C. Human herpes virus 4, or D. HPV. The answer for number 7 is letter C, human herpes virus 4. Number 8. Hashimoto's thyroiditis is caused by an autoantibody to A. Thyroglobulin, B. Salivary duct, C. TSH receptors, or D. Myelin sheath. The answer for number 8 is letter A. Thyroglobulin. Number 9. Gaucher's disease is caused by an accumulation of which lipid? A. Sphingomyelin, B. Mucopolysaccharides, C. Gangliosides, or D. Glucocerebroside. So the answer for number 9 is letter D. Glucocerebroside. Number 10. The most abundant anion in extracellular fluid. A. Sodium, B. Potassium, C. Chloride, or D. Calcium? The answer for number 10 is letter C. Chloride. Number 11. Fletcher's medium is mainly used to isolate A. Legionella, B. Leptospira, C. Vibrio, or D. Mycobacterium. The answer for number 11 is letter B. Leptospira. Number 12. Waterhouse-Friderichsen Syndrome is associated with A. Neisseria meningitidis, B. Bordetella pertussis, C. Neisseria gonorrhea, or D. Neisseria lactamica. The answer for number 12 is letter A. Neisseria meningitidis. Number 13. The only pathogenic microfilarious species with no sheath, no nuclei at the tip of its tail. A. Loa loa, B. Brugia malayi, C. Wuchereria bancrofti, or D. Onchocercus volvulus. So the answer for number 13 is letter D. Onchocercus volvulus. Number 14. Also known as the Oriental Blood Fluke. A. Schistosoma japonicum, B. Schistosoma mansoni, C. Clonorchus sinensis, or D. Schistosoma hematobium. So the answer for number 14 is A. Schistosoma japonicum. Number 15. Primary amoebic meningoencephalitis is caused by A. Entamoeba histolytica, B. Entamoeba dispar, C. Naegleria fowleri, or D. Entamoeba coli. So the answer for number 15 is letter C. Naegleria fowleri. Number 16. Crystals that appear as colorless hexagonal plates are most likely A. Cholesterol, B. Leucine, C. Ampicillin, or D. Cysteine. So the answer for number 16 is letter D. Cysteine. Number 17. Which of the following conditions do not present with macrocytic anemia? A. B12 deficiency, B. Sideroblastic anemia, C. Folate deficiency, or D. None of the above. So the answer for number 17 is letter B. Sideroblastic anemia. Number 18. Which hemoglobin variant replaces the glutamic acid with lysine at the 6th position? A. Hemoglobin C, B. Hemoglobin F, C. Hemoglobin D, or D. Hemoglobin E. So the answer for number 18 is letter A. Hemoglobin C. Number 19. The Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002 is also known as A. RA 9165, B. RA 5527, C. RA 5572, or D. RA 9615. So the answer for number 19 is letter A. RA 9165. Number 20. Associated with pseudogout. A. Uric acid, B. Calcium pyrophosphate, C. Calcium oxalate monohydrate, D. Calcium oxalate dihydrate. So the answer for number 20 is letter B. Calcium pyrophosphate. Number 21. Section 13 of RA 5527 is named A. Accreditation, B. Examination, C. Fees, or D. Oath-taking. So the answer for number 21 is letter A. Accreditation. Number 22. Ropes test is a test for the viscosity of which body fluid? A. Seminal fluid, B. Amniotic fluid, C. Synovial fluid, or D. Sweat? So the answer for number 22 is letter C, synovial fluid. Number 23. Which president signed RA 9288 into law? A. Fidel Ramos, B. Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, C. Ramon Magsaysay, or D. Corazon Aquino? So the answer for number 23 is letter B, Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. 24. Which is not a troponin subunit? A. Troponin I, B. Troponin C, C. Troponin K, or D. Troponin T? So the answer for number 24 is letter C, Troponin K. 25. Cherry Crandall is a method for determination of which analyte? A. Lipase, B. Cholesterol, C. Triglycerides, or D. Amylase? So the answer for number 25 is letter A, lipase. Number 26. What is the source of epinephrine? A. The adrenal cortex, B. The adrenal medulla, C. The anterior pituitary gland, or D. The posterior pituitary gland? So the answer for number 26 is letter B, the adrenal medulla. Number 27. What is the reference method for glucose determination? A. Hexokinase, B. Folin-Wu, C. Orthotolwidin, or D. Samogi-Nelson? So the answer for number 27 is letter A, hexokinase. Number 28. Which of the following is an anticonvulsant? A. Lidocaine, B. Primidone, C. Digoxin, or D. Theophylline? So the answer for number 28 is B. Primidone. Number 28. In Cushing's disease, glucose is expected to be A. Increased together with cortisol, B. Decrease, C. Unchanged, or D. Increased with decreased cortisol? So the answer for number 29 is letter A, increased together with cortisol. Number 30. Toxic shock syndrome is associated with A. Staphylococcus aureus, B. Streptococcus pyogenes, C. Streptococcus agalactiae, or D. Streptococcus pneumoniae? So the answer for number 30 is letter A, Staphylococcus aureus. And that would be all. So good luck. And to each and every taker, I hope na makakamit mo na ang tatlong letra ni hinahangad mo. This has been Spicy Medtech. Stay safe and God bless.